Morning, everybody. Hope everybody had an amazing weekend. It was jam packed for me. Looking forward to setting off this week. You're looking to crush it. Hopefully, you guys are ready. It looks like I'm kind of by myself today. So we'll get into that and we'll get into today's topic. Let's hit that intro.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
There we go. Got Lisa. Good morning, Lisa. Hopefully, you're doing amazing this morning. I just want to basically say what's up to everybody. Like I said, today Jeff is going to be off. He's on vacation today. And then as well, we're having Dan who will be joining us later this week. One thing that I've really liked, and I thought that it was really important for us to kind of get into, is that the ability to have habits. I believe that habits is something that we can all learn from, right? And I think that's the best thing that we can do. Today, when it comes to habits, like I mentioned last week, I'm not really a big fan of reading books. It's something that just hasn't worked for me. But one thing that has been worked for me, and the one book that I feel like has changed my life, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm somebody obviously a work in progress, just like we all are. And if you guys are in the comments, what kind of habits are you guys kind of looking to add to your routine, or what are some things that work for you guys in terms of like scheduling or anything like that? One of the big things that I kind of read that really kind of like was like a trigger to me was that if you took a plane and you're going from New York to LA, and let's say right before the flight, you changed that path from basically 3 degrees to the right or to the left, and you kept going straight, it would actually land in Tijuana, Mexico, rather than Los Angeles, California. So that's just three degrees, right? And with that being said, it's something that I feel like we all make goals. We all make goals, and then how close are we to basically staying to it? Um, just a shout out to LinkedIn user. Thank you, repping the West Indies this morning. I know my dad is enjoying the CPL in Trinidad as well. So, with that being said, come back to the habits, right? So, Atomic Habits. If anybody's read the book, drop a one in the comment. I'd love to kind of see what your kind of thoughts are. But it's been something that's kind of changed my life. Um, Basically, what when it comes down to habits is that you want to make it obvious in terms of when you're trying something new or basically trying to get rid of something. I know a lot of us, how many of us, like at the beginning of the year, we want to go ahead and, hey, let's try to lose weight this year as a New Year's resolution, right? And then, hey, we go ham for maybe like 2 weeks or something like that. And then, oh my God, you stop going to the gym. And then basically what I kind of call it is like a gym donation, right? That you're making to whatever gym facility you kind of go to. Simple things that we can just kind of add to ourselves. I believe that it's a big game changer. It's about progress. It's not about, hey, nothing's gonna happen overnight, right? As I mentioned, like habits is something that we all do, right? Like, let's say something like, hey, after I brush my teeth, I'm gonna wash my face. And those little things over day, that we'll see those kind of changes. When it comes to like stacking habits, that's something that I think is really important. And that's where I was kind of mentioning, hey, like brush your teeth, wash your face, or something like that. Let's say you have a goal of like, let's say losing some weight or something like that, or even gaining some muscle or something like that. In terms of your personal life, you could do simple things like adding like your clothing, like your gym workout clothing, right on your couch as soon as you kind of wake up, and then basically looping them in, as Lisa kind of mentioned here. Lisa, what do you kind of do in terms of like your kind of looping habits? What kind of works for you? Because I feel like that's extremely important, right? So stacking habits, making it obvious. And I think you've got to, hey, if I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to put my workout gear on the bed. As soon as I wake up, boom, I'm going to put my clothes on. And then, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get changed and head to the gym, right? So I feel like when it comes to changing up your habits, adding something to it, it's just really consistency. And one of the big takeaways for me from actually reading this book was that you're looking for to add 1% better every single day. You're not trying to like get better overnight, right? And just kind of coming back to our amazing industry and sales just in general. We're not gonna. Sometimes it happens, but it's very rare that it happens. Hey, we land that big shark or something like that overnight. Those reasons why we land our accounts or land those customers and even our care relationships. We land those just because we're getting 1% better each day. We're making that touch, we're making that touch, we're making that touch, and then eventually it's going to pan out for us, right? I think that one of the other things too is that you got to make your habits attractive, right? Like, let's say, I know myself here too. It's like, hey, you look at like recipes and things like that for trying to eat better. It's like, I don't really want to eat boiled chicken and vegetables. That's not really appetizing to me when, hey, Subway's down the street or McDonald's or something down the street. So you got to make something attractive to you and what actually kind of works for yourself, right? I think that when you look at pairing it with something else that you already do, right? So hey, we all get up in the morning. We're all gonna go ahead and go for a walk. If you don't go for a walk, it's something that we can loop. So if I'm like, hey, I want to add podcasts or like audiobooks to like my daily routine to kind of get amped up, do it on your walks or do it while you're in the kitchen getting your breakfast ready or something like that. So I think that it's really, really important. As Lisa kind of mentions here, she her morning routine. She drinks tea with collagen, drinks water. Tune into the show. Shout out to Lisa for tuning into the show. Stretch your body, and then affirmations. Right. Affirmations is something that I've actually learned from Lisa, and I've been adding that to my own habit as well. And it's something that's working for me to be able to go back and reflect on. When it comes to, let's say you got your morning routine, like even for me, share your morning routines because like I'd love to hear what everyone kind of does. My own morning routine, I wake up in the morning, take my dogs for a walk. That's the most important thing. I think one of the best things you can do is get a dog if you're looking to build habits because they'll force you out of your comfort zone, right? I'm not fortunate enough to have kids yet, so I assume kids would be the same thing as well. But with that being said, I think you want to make your habits attractive, pair it with something, right? So you will always want to kind of look at what can I add to this that I actually look forward to doing it, and make it easy. One of my favorite YouTubers is Matt Diabella, and check him out on YouTube. He does a lot of like minimalist videos, and he does like different challenges and stuff like that. And I think he's amazing. And he did a video on habits a couple weeks back, and one of his things that he said was that if you're going to do something, your mind gives you 5 seconds before it actually completely changes, right? So actually think about that. Like, you have 5 seconds before you either decide you're going to do it or you're not going to do it, right? And everybody has their own kind of like routines of like, hey, if something's going to take less than 5 minutes, okay, go get it done, right? Rather than let it compound and stack up. So you want to make it like everything easy, just so you don't get that mind, you don't get triggered off by not doing it. So it's simple as, hey, let me put my workout clothes on. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna go work out, Or when you fire up your CRM, when you take a look, you're like, okay, click on your first contact and then get started. And it's like it's basically a rollerball effect, right? So, like Maggie actually says here, you got to look forward to it. And that's the one thing as well is like I said, coming back to the diet routine and stuff like that. I do not want to eat boiled chicken. I do not want to eat just veggies. But hey, maybe if I add a little sauce that I like a little teriyaki sauce, that 15 to 20 calories is not going to kill you, right? But it's going to make it more exciting for you to kind of look at as well. One of the other things is that you got to make it satisfying, right? And I feel like that kind of comes in as well with basically having that kind of going from there. By making it satisfying, if you're going to the gym, track your workouts. Like even for me, I know at my gym, you're able to, like, I can take my Apple Watch, scan it, and then it will actually track my workouts and stuff like that. And then you'll see the progress, right? In the book, they talk about that everyone thinks that progress and habits, it's a linear progression, when it's more of kind of like a loop, right? And they actually have that, they call that loop where nothing's happening, the valley of disappointment, right? So let's say you've been prospecting for like 2 months now and you're not seeing anything, or you've been going to the gym and you're not really seeing results. But at the end of the day, one push up today is better than none. 1 minute of playing your guitar is better than none. That one prospecting call or that email, whatever thing that you do, is better than not doing it at all. So as Lisa kind of mentioned here, she says her workout clothes the night before. I think it's like really important. You gotta actually have that routine, and then it kind of gets instilled in your brain. I don't know if anybody's ever tried this, but like, has anybody put some ones in the comments if you ever been on Duolingo, like the trying to learn like a new language? Because like that's something I like to. I tell myself that I like to. I'd love to learn new languages, but it's not something that I've been able to complete. So, but with that being said, when I was in the app, every day there's a streak, and I think things like making satisfying, we get that kind of in our head, hey, we've accomplished this, and one of the biggest things with making something stick is never miss 2 days in a row. That's something that I've kind of worked out in my personal and professional life. It's okay to have a setback. We all have mental days. We all have things that is not working for us. But with that being said, just ensure that you're not missing 2 days in a row. Always show up. One thing that I'm a big fan of is Andy Frisella and the 75 Hard Challenge. I've probably tried this challenge so many times, and I'm going to start it again because it's something that it keeps you consistent, right? And it's a mental toughness challenge. If anybody doesn't know what it is, check it out. It's the 75 hard. I think there's like 6 rules. Drink a gallon of water a day, 2 workouts at 45 minutes each. One has to be outdoors. Follow a diet, no alcohol, no drugs, and a progress picture every single day. So it's just those 6 things, I believe it is. And you would think, okay, 6 things, I can do it, right? But with that being said, it's like, no, it does. You do fail. And if you do fail, you got to start over from day one. So that is something that I think is like to build habits. Lisa says 75 hard has changed her life, and if you're a person on social media, look up the hashtag 75 hard, whether it be on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even on YouTube. There's a lot of great videos. And it's not just about the physical change, right? It's a mental toughness challenge. And I think Andy Frisella, he has a great podcast. It's something I listen to quite a bit. And, you can definitely bring changes into your life by 75 hard. Lisa, what did you do after 75 hard? Because I feel like was there any kind of habits you kind of went back to before, or did you kind of like make it stick? Because I think that we kind of feel like, hey, we get back to a goal, but then we're not actually at the mountaintop yet, right? And then we kind of like, okay, well, I already accomplished this. It's either what's next, or I'm just gonna go back to my old habits. So it's really coming back to it, like making everything satisfying for you. 1% better is something that I've like I said, I've mentioned a couple times in this video, is every single day try to be the best version of yourself, right? And it doesn't take that, these things are gonna compound initially. I read a story, I think it was like a year ago, so of Terry Crews, the famous actor. Shout out to White Chicks, one of the greatest movies ever. But he mentioned that when he's very physique, jacked and everything like that. And what he mentioned, that when he first started going to the gym, he was very intimidated. So he told himself that he would go to the gym in his gym clothes. He wouldn't work out. He would just go there, sit on the chair, and just like read like a fitness magazine. And every single day he showed up, and eventually he obviously started, okay, all right, I'm done reading. And I think it took maybe like 2-3 weeks or so. And he's like, wait, let me try out this machine. And then he kind of progressed linearly, right? So it's about starting small, and it's kind of going up. And I think when you kind of do start small, you're able to go at your own pace and then kind of take it up, right? And it's just like you're running on a treadmill. It's like hey, I'll start off at 1 mile per hour, and then I'll go to 2, and I'll go 3, and I'll go 4, go to 5, right? So focusing on systems, I think is like extremely important too. In the book, he mentions that, hey, let's not focus on goals. Like, goals are amazing. Like I'm pretty sure anybody, if I was to ask them what their goals are, they would be able to list it right away. But then you ask them, hey, what are your kind of systems? What are you doing to actually achieve those? The high performers, they're going to crush it. Obviously, like Dan's always kind of said here too as well, of what you kind of do. But with that being said, you need to have a system in place of how you're going to get there. And these are where the habits come into place, right? And you kind of look forward for there. As Lisa kind of mentions here, I made a list of all the things that she wants to stick: daily workout, daily water, not always a gallon, but at least 100 ounces of water that she strives for. Feed her mind, either with an audible or read a book, and stick to a nutrition plan. So honestly, that really seems like 75 hard, right? And she's taken elements from that and incorporated into her life, and she's seen definitely things that works out. Workouts, as you mentioned, could be as simple as a walk for 30 minutes or yoga or stretching, something to keep your body moving. I was at a barbecue on the weekend, and I was talking to my father-in-law, and he was actually telling me that there was actually a study, I forget, I believe it was MIT, saying that sitting down is worse than smoking. The effects that it has on your body. And everybody kind of knows I got dogs. So like for me, my personal thing that works for me is that every hour, I work for 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and then I take a 10-minute break, and it's simple as just going outside, talking to my dogs, playing with my dogs and things like that. Just get the body moving, so that you can clear your head too. And I think reflection, coming back with affirmations, is extremely important. It's something that we can always look forward to something and kind of build there. And as well, as Lisa kind of says here, well, and no alcohol, right? It works for some people. It doesn't work for other people, but you could take it in slow steps. And that's the reason why that we're able to kind of go ahead. Biggest one, Lisa as mentioned here, was the biggest one, to stop drinking. And on the program, I realized I didn't want to anymore, and I didn't start drinking again. And you know what? Like I said, it doesn't work for everybody. Even for my personal self, I personally don't like alcohol, but I kind of do in social settings. But at the end of the day, it's something that is a personal preference, and it's a habit that you kind of build towards, right? Like look on the opposite side of it. If you're not prospecting every day, if you're not having the conversations with your customer service team or your ops team or something like that, how can you really expect growth? Right. And people kind of say, like, hey, you got to step out of your comfort zone. You got to step out of your comfort zone. And I'm a firm believer is that you've got to make things hard for yourself and in order to kind of like see to break through out of it, right? And that's kind of like breaking out of your comfort zone and working from there. I've really enjoyed this book. I think like it's a book that everybody should read and everyone should kind of like look at to kind of embrace themselves, and kind of figure out, hey, what can I do differently in my daily schedule? So what is one thing, everybody here, that you can add to your that you want to either add as a habit or something that you don't want to, you kind of want to remove? I'll be completely honest, for me, I feel like I consume way too much content. So I definitely want to stop bringing down my phone screen time, right? So I know everybody here who has an iPhone, every Sunday you get that text message of how much screen time you did on your iPhone. And it's like, oh shoot, like why am I averaging so much a day when I could be putting that into, like, it's, hey, there's a podcast that's an hour, and I'll say, hey, that podcast is way too long to listen to. But mind you, I'm spending almost 3 times or 4 times that amount of time on my phone doing what? Scrolling, right? So as Lisa kind of mentioned, coming back to the alcohol, she replaced drinking wine with the habit of drinking a mocktail or evening tea. And those things kind of build up because like I'm pretty sure when you're adding those things to your schedule, so now you're having evening tea and you're having a mocktail, you're probably going to add another habit to it, something you always want to do. And I think one of the best things you can do is look at your environment as well. So one of the biggest mistakes I made was that I used to put my books, or I put my e-reader, I put it in my living room. But the association I have with my living room is hanging out with my family, playing with my dogs, lying down, watching TV, or scrolling through my phone or something like that, right? Or playing Xbox. Something different, right? What changed for me to get me reading was that I took my books and I would put it in a different area. So now that, hey, I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee in my certain area. I know it sounds a little bit trivial and a little bit things like that, but it does work, and you're just kind of just tricking the mind a bit to figure out, okay, what can I do to actually get this accomplished? Right. I'm a big believer in making a to-do list and simple things like checking it off, and even if you have a calendar, things that you want to accomplish every single day, it's truly important to actually stick to that schedule and then see the progression. I think I read over the weekend that we're less than 100 days away from Christmas, right? Which is crazy to think about. Every year we always kind of think, oh my God, like where did the year go? And it's something that, hey, we can continually add, and then be where you want to be. As Lisa here, thank you so much. It's not trivial, but so it's a big part of it in her opinion. And it's like we said, like you have that association of doing things in certain areas, right? Some people have TVs in their bedroom. I have a TV in my bedroom, but like we barely use it because we know that the bedroom is for sleep. So it's just adding those simple things, and then your mind is like, okay, I got to do this after this. Let's get into I know I'm kind of talking a bit much here, but let's get into the data lane of the day. Awesome. So the lane of the day is going to be a reefer trailer, reefer trucking from Denver, Colorado to Fort Worth, Texas. The line haul RPM is $1.74 a mile. All in with fuel is coming at $2.43 a mile. Contract rate, including fuel, is at $2.66 a mile, including fuel on there. Year to year, line haul RPM change has been it's been less than 28 cents. In terms of notes, there's some upward rate movement in this lane, averaging about $1.30 a mile since April. Current rate is about 38 cents higher than the August average. So we're kind of seeing a little bit uptick. With what I've kind of seen with the lanes and everything like that's been kind of coming back to us. So what are you going to kind of do today in terms of what your kind of triggers are, as Alicia mentions here, from what you're looking to accomplish in your kind of career and things like that? I think, like I said, I'm a big believer in this book. I think it's something that everybody should read. James Clear, it's amazing. There's a lot of a lot of value into it. Other than Atomic Habits, I do definitely want to get back into reading, and it's something that I want to be better at. Any kind of recommendations anybody has in the comments of like, hey, what book has changed their life, or even like a podcast or audiobook or something that's changed their life to like build a habit. That'd be awesome to kind of see. And I just want to kind of thank everybody for coming out this morning. I know a bit nervous today because I'm on my own today. I feel like I'm just doing a YouTube video today, but this is awesome. I just want to thank everybody for support this morning. Please do remember that we are live at 12 and 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can follow us on LinkedIn Live, Facebook, and YouTube. Everything's played there. You can go back and take a look at all the videos. You can make it a daily habit of watching our show or figure out a certain time that kind of works for you and take some nuggets there from there. Like I said, just want to thank everybody for coming out again, and thank you to our sponsor Daman from Centurion Trucking for always being an amazing person and being a part of the show. Tomorrow we will definitely have people here, so we'll bring a guest on tomorrow, and then we're looking forward to seeing everybody. So go ahead, everybody, be 1% better, crush this week, and let's get it. And let's hit that outro.
Centurion Trucking, our motto is people before profit. Today's market requires more transparency, consistency, and focus on what our clients need to win. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics are poised to help their clients achieve and surpass their targets. If you're looking for a team that honors your needs, dreams, and aspirations, then get a hold of Daman at American Logistics or